All right, let's talk about something that so many of us deal with every single year, that tricky balance between the joyful holiday we want to have and the stress it can sometimes cause for the older adults in our lives. We're going to break it down.
I mean, this is the picture, right? It's the one we all have in our heads. A time that's all about warmth and laughter and just feeling genuinely connected with our family. It's why we put in all the work. But here's the thing. For the very people we're trying to celebrate, the reality can feel, well, completely the opposite. Instead of that cozy connection, the holidays can just be a tidal wave of overwhelm, confusion, and, yeah, a lot of stress.
So, to really get to the bottom of this, let's make it personal. Because this isn't just some abstract idea, it's what real people, people like Mr. Alvarez, go through every year. Okay, so think about Mr. Alvarez's normal day. It's got a rhythm, you know? He gets up at 7, he has his tea, he listens to the radio in his favorite share. It's predictable, it's calm, it's his. But then the holidays hit. Boom. Suddenly he wakes up to a house full of chatter, the kitchen is a whirlwind, and his chair, his one spot, is covered in presents. His entire world has been flipped upside down. And right in the middle of all this sensory overload, you've got family members with the best intentions asking him, "Aren't you excited?" And, deep down, he probably is. But on the surface, he's just trying to stay afloat. And that question really shows the gap between what we expect them to feel and what they're actually experiencing. So, what is really going on here? Like, what's the core reason for this disconnect? Well, it all boils down to one incredibly powerful concept: the power of routine. Let's look at the actual science of why that stability is so important. We tend to think of routines as, well, boring, right? Monotonous. But for an aging brain, a routine is the exact opposite of boring. It is a stabilizer in a world that might feel wobbly. It's an anchor that holds them in place. It's literally the tool they use to orient themselves all day long. And this is such a perfect way to put it. When you disrupt that daily routine, you are basically taking away their roadmap. Imagine your own GPS just suddenly going haywire in a new city. That's the feeling. Their internal navigation system just gets completely overwhelmed. Now this is so important, because what we see on the outside is one thing. Maybe they seem irritable, or they're pulling away, or they just look exhausted. But the real cause, what's happening underneath, it's not a bad mood. It's cognitive overload. Their anchors are gone and they are just plain overstimulated. It's a reaction, not a choice. So here's the good news. The solution is not to cancel the holidays, not at all. It's just about finding ways to weave a little bit of that predictability back into the chaos. So let's get super practical and look at 6 simple but powerful strategies to do exactly that. All right, here they are. And the beauty of these is that they're not huge, complicated things to pull off. They are small adjustments for you that can have a massive impact on your loved one. So let's break them down. Okay, first up, do whatever you can to keep that morning routine sacred, even if it's just their tea at the same time in their favorite seat. Next, use gentle previews. No big surprises, just a simple, "Hey, after breakfast, Sarah is going to stop by for a bit." And third, protect those daily anchors, the little things they do every day, like feeding the dog or watching their favorite show. And just look at this slide. It nails the next strategy perfectly. On the one side, you have this overwhelming fire hose of information. We've got brunch, then gifts, then church. It's exhausting just hearing it. But on the other side, so much simpler. First, we'll have brunch. After that, we can rest. It's the same day, just presented in a way the brain can actually handle. So, building on that, you want to offer just one activity at a time. Then, and this is a huge one, create a quiet space. A designated chair, maybe a bedroom where they can go to recharge without feeling like they're being rude. And finally, when it's all over, plan for a reset. Let January be the month you get right back to that normal, stabilizing routine. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and tackle some of those really common questions that I know come up for so many caregivers during the holiday season. Oh yeah, this one. I bet a lot of you have heard this on repeat. What are we doing now? Or, so, what's next? It can start to feel a little frustrating, but there's something really important going on behind that question. See, that question isn't really about the schedule. What they're really actually saying is, I feel lost right now. I don't have my map, and I need to know where I am. So the best response isn't to list off the entire day's itinerary. Just give them the very next tiny piece. Right now, we're just relaxing. In a little while, we'll have some pie. That's it.
Okay, next one. What about when they just seem stubborn? They resist any change of plans. They don't want to participate in the game. What's really going on there? Well, 9 times out of 10, it is not stubbornness. It's a defense mechanism. That resistance is a signal that their cognitive map is already stretched to its absolute limit. They're not trying to be difficult. They're trying to prevent their system from crashing. And predictability is what gives that map some slack again.
And finally, let's talk about a question that's really for you, the caregiver. That feeling of guilt. Man, it's a heavy one, isn't it? You feel like if you simplify the holiday, you're somehow letting everybody else down. This is a reframe you have to give yourself. You are not downgrading the holiday. You are making it accessible. And think about it. An accessible holiday is where real connection can actually happen because you're swapping out chaos for calm.
And that really brings us to the most important idea of this whole explainer. It's a fundamental perspective-shifting way to think about all the changes that come with aging.
I just want you to let that sink in for a second. Aging is not a story about decline. It's a story about adaptation. Every behavior you see, every question, every moment of resistance is an attempt to adapt to a world that's changing for them. Our job is to help them adapt, not to fight against it.
So as we wrap up, I'll leave you with this question to think about. After hearing all of this, what's just one small thing, one tiny adjustment you can make this year to protect a routine, dial down the chaos, and create a holiday that feels a little less overwhelming and a lot more connected for everyone? Thanks so much for tuning in.